Somewhere in the last 12 months, someone sent you an article, a LinkedIn post, or a vendor deck telling you that AI was going to transform your industry. Maybe it said your competitors were already using it. Maybe it had a number, 40% productivity gain, 10 times faster, cut costs in half. And you had to decide, is this real or is this noise? Most leaders don't have a good answer to that question. That's a problem, because the wrong answer costs you either a wasted investment or a missed opportunity. This is the CEO AI Playbook, built for business owners and operators who need to make real decisions about AI, not just follow the news cycle. This video is for any leader who has been handed an AI pitch, read a breathless headline, or sat through a demo and still wasn't sure what was actually true. The core question here is simple. How do you build judgment about AI claims so you stop reacting and start evaluating? Because that skill, that filter, is worth more than any individual AI tool you could buy. Here's what's actually happening right now. AI is genuinely useful. That part is true. But the gap between what AI can do in a controlled demo and what it does in your actual business is often enormous. Vendors know this, and they've gotten very good at closing that gap in the pitch, not in the product. At the same time, the media runs on novelty. Every model release gets covered like a moon landing. Every capability benchmark gets headlines. What doesn't get covered is the failure rate, the implementation cost, or the 3 months of cleanup after a bad rollout. So business leaders are making decisions inside an information environment that is almost entirely optimized to make AI look better than it is. And it's not just vendors, it's your peers too. When a fellow CEO tells you they're using AI across their whole operation, that's usually true, but it rarely means what it sounds like. It might mean one team uses a writing assistant. It might mean a single workflow was automated. The gap between "we're using AI" and "AI is transforming our operations" is enormous. The result? Leaders are either spending on tools they don't need, or they're paralyzed waiting for certainty that never comes. Neither is a strategy. So how does hype actually work? And how do you see through it? There are 3 mechanics worth understanding. The first is benchmark theater. Vendors publish performance numbers, accuracy rates, speed improvements, cost reductions that are almost always measured under ideal conditions. Controlled data, clean inputs, a single, narrow task. When you put the same tool into a messy, real-world environment with inconsistent data and edge cases, performance drops, sometimes dramatically. A claim of 95% accuracy in a demo can become 70% accuracy in production. And 70% accuracy in an automated workflow can mean a lot of errors. The second is scope compression. When a vendor says, "automate your customer service," or "AI handles your invoicing," they're describing an outcome. What they're not describing is the 6-week integration, the staff retraining, the edge cases that fall out of the workflow, or the ongoing prompt maintenance required to keep it working. The capability is often real. The path to that capability is almost never as short as the pitch implies. The third is novelty bias. Humans are wired to overweight new things. When a capability is new, it feels bigger than it is. The first time you see an AI draft a contract or summarize a 50-page report in seconds, it's genuinely impressive. But impressive in a demo is not the same as valuable at scale in your operation. The question is never, "can it do this?" The question is, what does it actually cost to make this work reliably in my environment? Once you see these 3 patterns, you start noticing them everywhere. In demos, in press releases, in LinkedIn posts, in board presentations. The filter isn't cynicism. It's just asking better questions. So what does good judgment actually look like when you're evaluating an AI claim? Start with the outcome, not the technology. The question is never, is this AI powerful? The question is, does this solve a problem I actually have, at a cost I can justify, with a level of reliability I can operate on? If a vendor can't answer that question specifically for your business, that's a signal. Second, understand who is making the claim and what they gain from it. A vendor benefits from your purchase. A journalist benefits from your click. A peer on a panel benefits from sounding like an innovator. None of those incentives align with your business outcomes. That doesn't make them dishonest, it makes them optimistic. Your job is to adjust for that optimism. Third, ask for evidence that maps to your context. A case study from a 5,000-person enterprise doesn't tell you much if you're running a 40-person professional services firm. The use case, the data environment, the staff capability, the integration complexity, all of that changes the math. If a vendor can't show you comparable reference customers, ask why. Fourth, take the total cost seriously. The license fee is almost never the full cost. There's implementation, integration, staff time, ongoing maintenance, and, often overlooked, the cost of failure if it doesn't work. Build a real cost model before you commit, not after. Finally, separate the pilot from the promise. Good AI adoption starts small. If a vendor is pushing you toward an enterprise-wide deployment before you've run a real pilot in one function, that's worth noticing. Any capability worth buying should be worth testing first. Here's the actual playbook. 6 steps you can use right now to sharpen your AI judgment. Step 1. Build a claim log. Anytime you encounter a significant AI claim, from a vendor, a publication, a peer, write it down. Note the source, the specific claim, and what they stand to gain. Patterns become obvious fast. Step 2. Separate the capability from the deployment. An AI capability being real and that capability being deployable in your business are two different things. Always ask, what would it take for us, specifically, to use this? That question cuts through most of the noise. Step 3. Find a skeptic. For any major AI investment, find someone who has tried the same category of tool and had it not work. Talk to them. They will tell you what the vendor won't. Step 4. Run a 30-day scoped pilot before any significant spend. Define success criteria before the pilot starts, not after. If you can't define what success looks like, you're not ready to pilot. Step 5. Ask your vendor for their failure rate. Literally ask, what percentage of implementations in companies like mine don't hit the projected outcome? A good vendor can answer that. A vendor who can't is telling you something important. Step 6. Revisit claims quarterly. The AI landscape moves fast, which means a capability that was immature 6 months ago might be ready now, and a tool you bought last year might have been leapfrogged. Build a regular review cadence, not a one-time evaluation. The leaders who win with AI aren't the ones who moved fastest. They're the ones who evaluated well. Good judgment about AI claims is a competitive skill, and right now, most of your competitors don't have it. If you want the AI claim evaluation worksheet, 10 questions to run against any AI pitch or product before you spend $1, drop Signal in the comments and we'll send it your way. The link is also in the description. Signal in the comments. You don't have to get every AI decision right, you just have to stop making them blind.